BG3's Patch 8 has finally released, featuring 12 new subclasses, one for each class, with tons of new stuff to mess around and play with. One of the most prominent of these subclasses being Warlock's Hexblade Pact. Now, Hexblade is one of the most iconic and popular 5e subclasses in general, mostly because of how front-loaded and powerful it is as a multi-class option. However, at level 6, the class gains access to its Accursed Specter feature. Put simply, whenever you slay a humanoid character, you can raise its spirit to fight on your behalf. In Tabletop 5e, you can only do this once per long rest. However, in Baldur's Gate 3, the implementation of this feature is quite different, which is why I wanted to make this quick video explaining and showing how it works, because it's actually really cool, and I think brings a lot of value to a pure class Hexblade in BG3, or at the very least more than a 1-level dip. So there's a couple of aspects to this that make it different from its tabletop D&D implementation. First and foremost, you don't need to slay the creature in order to actually raise it. Instead, it simply needs to have your Hexblade curse applied when it's slain. This is the iconic feature that Hexblade Warlocks gain access to at level 1. If the curse is active, and it is a valid target, you will be able to raise a Spectre from it as a reaction. This just means that your teammates can defeat these targets and you'll still have a chance to actually raise them, which is nice quality of life. Now, the other aspect of this is that since the summoning of your Spectres is attached to your Hexblade's curse, this means that you can summon more than one Spectre per long rest. Hexblade's curse recharges every short rest, so every time you have this feature available, you have the chance to summon a Spectre. With an initial long rest and 2 short rests per day, this means you can get at least 3 Spectres per rest. To accommodate for this, the Spectres do not last for a full long rest, they only last for 10 turns, which more or less means they'll only be relevant for 1 combat. However, there is one other homebrew decision made to Hexblade's curse that changes this entire dynamic. Hexblades can bind themselves to a weapon, much like the level 3 Pact of the Blade feature, and if you do pick up Pact of the Blade at level 3, it will just be combined into this. This bind hexed weapon feature gives you a ton of really powerful bonuses, but uniquely added into BG3 is the line, when you attack with this weapon, there is a chance that Hexblade's curse will be applied to the target. Oh yes, that means exactly what you think. What this means now is, anytime you attack a creature, you have a chance to apply this Hexblade's curse, which can then summon a Spectre. And in case you were wondering, these summons stack. They actually stack. You can have multiple of these out at once. And just from my brief testing, the actual chance of applying this curse on your attacks is very high, meaning if you're able to consistently hit and kill your enemies, you can build a huge Spectre army in the middle of the fight for no resource cost. And this is awesome. I'm not sure if this is a bug, though I suspect this was an intentional design decision to make the feature more fun and appealing. However, the BG3 wiki does state that in the game files, this Accursed Specter feature does have a once per long rest limit, it's just set incorrectly in the code. So there's a chance this is just a bug, but after sifting through some Reddit threads, it sounds like it has worked this way since the Patch 8 playtest, so I'm expecting this is working as intended. Regardless, it is possible that this does get fixed or changed in the future, which would make me very sad. In any case, I'll put a link to the Hexblade page on the wiki in the description below if you want to take a look yourself. As for how the summons actually work, I'll keep this a little bit brief as I haven't tested them fully. When you raise a Spectre, depending on the size of the defeated foe, it will raise as either a feeble, mundane, or primordial Spectre. The higher the tier, the better the stats, and the more powerful attacks available to the Spectre. Unlike most summons, these Spectres will act and attack automatically. You don't actually control them yourself. However, all forms of Spectres have the right behind you reaction, which will trigger when you, the Hexblade Warlock, hits an opponent with your bound weapon. This reaction will teleport the Spectre to your target and do some damage, and yes, multiple Spectres can do this at once, it's really cool. I haven't tested too extensively so far, but even though the feature states it can't be used on constructs, elementals, oozes, or plants, personally, I've only been able to get it to work on humanoids and beasts so far, but this might just be a testing error. I haven't had any luck with undead or fiends, but my testing has been very brief. I've just been hitting things on an old Act 3 save file. As for how this might work in a full character build, that's kind of up to you as a player, and I'd encourage you to experiment with stuff on your own instead of just waiting for possible build guides to be released. See how they feel yourself, see if you like them, that's kind of the fun part of character building. I just wanted to make a quick video discussing how these summons work because most people don't really consider Hexblade beyond a 1 or 3 level dip, and these new Spectres are very unique, possibly very strong, and most importantly, very fun. I'll probably make some more videos here as I find more interesting things in the patch, but that's all I've got for now, so go play some BG3.